Howdy gamers. Let's talk about the runes for Graves Jungle. There's a couple options and there's only like one really good one. The major keystones ran on him are Fleet of Footwork, Electrocute, and Dark Harvest. I'm going to be recommending Dark Harvest, but let's start off with talking about Fleet of Footwork. For me, Fleet of Footwork seems like a pretty useless rune. The benefit of Fleet of Footwork is that it gives you extra movement speed, and that's effectively it. It does give you healing, but those numbers aren't going to matter in so many cases. And for Graves, since he has a dash, even though he is so short range and his dash is short range, it's not so reasonable to take Fleet of Footwork on him, in my opinion. As if Graves isn't dealing significant damage, then he's not so useful, and if he doesn't have significant scaling, he's also not so useful. So, and the jungle matchups that are pretty meta right now, champions like Lee Sin, Rek'Sai, Echo, the benefit of kiting them isn't so useful other than if they make mistakes. If you just put yourself in a better position, you're going to be getting better value. Not playing right now, man. And with Fleet of Footwork, maybe you can make an argument into a champion like Echo, where it's actually going to give you the movement speed to dodge a skill shot or something. But again, if you're just not in those positions, and if you're just dealing more damage to them, that's probably more impactful. And then if you're taking the precision, if you're taking Fleet of Footwork, it's putting you in the precision tree, which isn't so bad. All of this isn't terrible, and then you'd probably run something like this secondary and then be into normal runes. But I don't see huge value in Fleet of Footwork because the healing is almost negligible. You don't need the healing for clearing jungle camps, and once you're fighting champions, having more damage is probably more impactful, and you miss out on a lot of scaling. So that's my opinions on that. Kind of just leaving it high and dry because, like I said, I just don't see huge utility in it. In the domination tree, you have your good options in Electrocute and Dark Harvest. Electrocute's okay. Electrocute's probably going to give you lethals on like different invades and whatnot. I'm not entirely sure as I don't main Graves and I just haven't seen any like huge value out of Electrocute. With Electrocute, you're also going to be again like it's just giving you like a lot of early option like power in situations that you probably don't have to be in, but if you're in them, you're probably getting better value. It's probably going to help you force ganks as you're just simply dealing more damage whenever you are ganking. And then it's also probably going to help you, like I said, whenever you're invading, or if the enemy invades you, you just simply have more damage to turn early. The problem with Electrocute is that you can only proc it onto one champion. That hurts you a lot in a normal, even in a normal laning situation. Anything outside of a 1v1, it's hurting you as you're the jungler, so you're basically the support of the top and the mid laner. So if you don't have a rune that helps you against both or it helps you in a 2v2 or a 3v3 or a 5v5 situation, you're really losing a lot of value. With Electrocute being on a 20-second cooldown too, once you use it once in a skirmish, you basically don't have a keystone. So that damage really fucking, like, it really better matter. With Dark Harvest, damaging a champion below 50% health deals bonus damage to them and harvests their soul. It permanently increases Dark Harvest damage by 5, and then Dark Harvest damage is 20 to 60 based on your level, plus 5 per soul, and then plus 0.25 bonus AD. Electrocute does have better bonus AD scaling, but with Dark Harvest, it's going to give you basically just scaling damage, and it also has pretty natural synergy with how Graves' kit effectively functions, as his ult is basically always going to be an execute, and with that, you can proc it onto multiple members instantly in a team fight with Dark Harvest, and even when you kill one target, the next one that you hit, if they're low enough, you're going to be proccing Dark Harvest. So it's just effectively giving you more damage in anything outside of a 1v1 situation. With Dark Harvest, you're also getting better scaling as the damage just keeps building up on it. So the more fight, you don't even have to kill a champion to get bonus damage on the Dark Harvest, so long that you damage that champion that's low. And that's pretty common to do, as a lot of champions, whenever you're ganking on Graves, you're usually just ganking to like chunk them to a degree. And even if you're not killing them, if you're getting the Dark Harvest proc, not only are you getting value from like the damage gank, but you're also getting value out of the champion being low, and then yeah, you're building up the Dark Harvest damage. So that's going to be the keystone. For the secondary rune, it's going to be Sudden Impact. Sudden Impact is kind of like your with the minor runes, they're going to be making up for the damage that you're going to be missing out on Electrocute as well. So like, just really don't worry about it. The way you should be looking to play Graves as well is like as this farming scaling champion. With Sudden Impact, after you use your dash, basically, so anytime you use your E, your ult, or your flash with Graves, you're going to get 7 lethality, and then 6 magic penetration for 5 seconds. Graves' W does deal magic damage, so you are going to get the value out of the magic pin as well, but with the lethality, it's going to just effectively give you more damage every single time you're skirmishing. So long that you're using the dash, and you naturally use the dash in like your DPS combo. It's pretty simple: auto dash auto, or auto auto dash auto, etc. Or even just a dash Q auto ult or something. Having the extra lethality is gonna not only empower your auto attacks, but also your Q and your ult damage. And with sudden impact, since Graves has so many like easy ways to use it, it's effectively going to like I said, just be like a minor keystone source of damage. Because if you just don't have it, then you're just simply missing out on a lot of damage. With the third runes here, you're basically choosing how you earn the attack damage offered by them. Once fully stacked, they all offer, I think, 18 attack damage. So with Zombie Ward, you earn it through clearing wards, and then with Ghost Borrow, you earn it through placing wards, and with Eyeball Collection, you earn it through getting kills or assists. So with the Graves, I'd recommend Zombie Ward, as a lot of what you're doing early is just full clearing, and then either countering the enemy junglers moving around the map, especially like champions that just trying to spam ganks. If you're there to counter them, not only are you winning that, but if you sweep the vision, then you also provide vision for your allies. So you just have a lot of utility in being able to show up to a lane, sweep the like river brush. If there's a ward in there, then it places another ward for your ally, and then you can just leave that lane and they're still protected. And then by doing so, you also gain the bonus AD. If you're into the enemy jungle, it's kind of the same thing. And come mid game, it's kind of impossible not to get this stacked up, as once supports start playing around the map, that's a lot of what you're doing, is just moving into the river and clearing vision. So adding a reward to that minigame is pretty solid, and it's pretty consistent to build up. If you're smurfing, or if you think you're going to win the game, or if you have a favorable matchup or whatever, Eyeball Collection is completely fine in solo queue, as it's faster to stack up in a lot of scenarios. So if you want to run that, go for it, but I would recommend Eyeball Collection, or Zombie Ward. For the fourth rune, it's going to be Ravenous Hunter. Well, it doesn't have to be Ravenous Hunter. Ravenous Hunter is the easiest. The healing from this really isn't crazy. It doesn't make or break things. And in my opinion, I think you're going to get better value out of Relentless Hunter. Again, a lot of what I think you should be doing on Graves is farming early. And with Relentless Hunter, it's going to help you. Like, if you steal one camp from the movement speed gained from this and get out in like a map state that you otherwise wouldn't be able to, that's pretty good value out of Relentless Hunter. With Ravenous Hunter, you might finish the game with like 2,000, 3,000 extra healing from it, but Graves, again, he's not a champion who needs the extra healing when he's clearing the camps, and in a lot of skirmish situations, it's just about how much damage you deal, not how much damage you heal. With Relentless Hunter, the map movements should outweigh the extra healing you'd be getting from Ravenous in like every single situation. If you really want healing on this champion, like getting it through lifesteal options in game is just going to go a lot further. Like Death's Dance and Spirit Visage are going to go a lot further than Ravenous Hunter, man. So in my opinion, Relentless Hunter is probably your go-to, as helps with your map movements, helps with clearing camps, helps with resetting onto the map. It helps in almost every single situation when you're winning, losing, neutral, etc. So maybe I'm off on that one, but that's what I'd recommend, so hopefully I'm not off. With the secondary runes of precision, I'm going to recommend Alacrity and Coup de Grace. Alacrity is going to give you scaling attack speed. You stack this up pretty quickly. You earn progress towards the extra attack speed through kills and assist, epic monster takes down, large monster kills, minion kills, etc. So like basically anything you could do in the game, you're going to build towards that. And getting the attack speed through this and then through Berserker Greaves is usually your best bet, as then you want to be building flat AD. So it basically makes it so that you don't have to buy like an extra dagger or something, and you're just at an attack speed value that you otherwise wouldn't be able to achieve without it at a pretty reasonable amount of time in the game. So that's a pretty solid rune for Graves, as attack speed becomes more expensive for him versus building attack damage. In terms of itemization, with Coup de Grace, you deal 8% more damage to champions who are below 40% health. So with Coup de Grace, it has pretty natural synergy with Dark Harvest, as again, you're just looking to have this scaling damage. Coup de Grace plus Sudden Impact are effectively like minor keystones in terms of the damage they can offer. And what I've seen commonly is like Triumph and then Alacrity, and I really don't understand it. Maybe I'm off, but like with Coup de Grace, this damage can be pretty significant, and the damage offered from it is also like, even though it's of course going to be less than the keystone, the damage offered from it is inaccessible through other means. And if you don't have the itemization advantage, then if things are even, then you're getting more value out of coup de grace. And then if you're ahead, you're getting more value out of coup de grace versus not. With Triumph, you restore 12% of your missing health, and then kills and assist grant you additional 20 gold. Like Graves does spend his health as a resource since he's a short range champion, but usually you're just playing to burst someone or like catch them out of position or follow up on your team CC and simply kill the champion. So I really, similar to Ravenous Hunter, I'm just not seeing like the healing values from these being as impactful as just simply killing the champion. So that's my thoughts on that. And again, Coup de Grace plus sudden impact, they're going to be offering like very significant amounts of damage. For the adaptive runes, it's pretty cut and dry for an 80 carry champion. Attack speed, attack damage, and then armor. If you are playing into an AP matchup in the jungle, you can go magic resist, as Graves can kite the jungle camps, so it's not so bad to be missing out on the extra armor. And if you don't have this magic resist, you are just simply taking more damage from an AP matchup, as Graves gets a lot of armor from his E passive, so but he doesn't get like the magic resist that he needs in those matchups. So having it from the runes here is very, very solid. Champions like Nidalee, Karthus, etc. It's just gonna they will just simply deal less damage to you since you have the magic resist. So these are the runes I recommend for Graves Jungle. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I answer literally all of them. If this video helped you, leaving a like on the video helps me. If you think I'm completely wrong, man, let me know. Maybe I'm off on these Graves runes, but I think I kind of have them down. And I really don't see any other variation, because if you're just simply missing out on the damage source of Dark Harvest, Sudden Impact, and Coup de Grace, I don't think other things outweigh it. Other champions might take something like Nimbus Cloak Water Walking for the utility. With this, you have to outweigh the attack speed and extra damage gain from Coup de Grace. I don't see it there. Something like Free Boots, Cosmic Insight, it's 300 gold value and then 5% CDR. Graves isn't that reliant on the cooldown reduction, especially early. So other like champions like Karthus make better value out of this because they just simply can't get full value out of the precision tree. So that's that. Yeah, if you have any questions, in the comments. If you want to watch me play League of Legends or talk about it some more on twitch.tv/SawyerNelson, check me out there. Bye-bye, man. Graves, great champion. Full clear, love it. See you later. Season 10, it's yours. Season 6, I mean, that was Graves, but maybe you can make him work in Season 10.